When they first emerged in the mid-1990s, the environmental extremists, calling themselves the Earth Liberation Front, announced they were the burning rage of a dying planet. Ever since, the ELF, along with its sister group, the Animal Liberation Front, has been burning down everything from SUV dealerships to research labs to housing developments. In recent years, these so-called eco-terrorists have been responsible for more than 1,000 crimes, resulting in over $100 million in damage. And their tactics and rhetoric continue to escalate. Things have gotten so bad, the FBI now considers them the country's biggest domestic terrorist threat. There are more than 150 investigations of eco-terrorist crimes underway. Have you caught the people who burned down those buildings on the mountain in Vail, Colorado?
No, sir.
What about the San Diego complex that was burned down?
No, sir.
This is the biggest act of eco-terrorism in U.S. history. A fire deliberately set on the night of August 1st, 2003, that destroyed this nearly completed $23 million apartment complex just outside San Diego. A fire set to protest urban sprawl. By the time the fire burned itself out the next morning, all that remained was a 12-foot-long banner that read, "If you build it, we will burn it." Also on the banner was the acronym ELF. When you saw that banner, what went through your mind?
I knew I had a problem.
A problem because he knew what ELF stood for, the Earth Liberation Front, the most radical fringe of the environmental movement. It's the same group that set 9 simultaneous fires across the Vail Mountain ski resort in 1998 to protest its expansion, causing $12 million in damage. And the same group that left SUV dealerships across America looking like scenes from the Sunni Triangle, their way of protesting the gas-guzzling habits of American car buyers. The ELF is a spin-off of another group called the ALF, or Animal Liberation Front, whose masked members have been known to videotape themselves breaking into research labs where they destroy years of painstaking work and free captive animals. In recent years, they've capped off their visits by burning down the buildings. Still, they insist they are nonviolent.
For every arson that I've carried out, there's probably been 3 or 4 that were not carried out for that fear of injuring somebody.
Rod Coronado, a former ALF leader, is widely credited with introducing arson to the cause. He spent 4 years in prison for setting 6 fires, including this one at Michigan State University. But why burn a building down? Aren't you putting people at risk when you do that?
It's simply because after years of rescuing animals from laboratories, it was heartbreaking to see those buildings and those cages refilled within the following days. And for that reason, arson has become a necessary tool.
Coronado says the ALF and ELF operate in small, autonomous cells. How many people in a cell?
I usually worked with 5 or less people.
How do you decide, after you've chosen a target, to go about it? I mean, you just can't walk in the door.
Those are the types of things that take nights and nights and weeks of reconnaissance to ensure that you know in the 1 hour that you're going to take action that there will be absolutely no risk to any living being. The fact that nobody was ever injured in any of the actions that I've been accused of was not a coincidence.
Coronado says these days he's simply an unofficial spokesperson for the ALF and ELF. And in that role, he travels across the country giving lectures on the group's philosophies and tactics.
This is a crude incendiary device. Plastic jug, which you fill with gasoline and oil.
Many in law enforcement believe Coronado is still active in the movement as an organizer and recruiter. He recently found this GPS tracking device under his Jeep, which he believes was planted by the FBI. And he just happened to have a speaking engagement in San Diego the day after the fire. So you knew nothing about the fire?
I knew absolutely nothing about that fire.
But you have gone around the country and encouraged people to do this kind of thing.
Encouragement through explanation and demonstration of my own actions.
In other words, you show them how to set a fire.
I show them how I've set fires. I show them how the ELF and the ALF, what their mode of operation is.
So you're going out looking for people who will follow in your footsteps, footsteps that landed you in jail?
I'm asking for people courageous enough to take those risks for what they believe in.
We were surprised when one of those people, a man claiming to be an active ALF cell leader, came out of the shadows to grant what he called the group's first on-camera interview in 20 years, as long as we didn't see his face or record his voice. He told us that his cell has conducted operations from coast to coast, and every one of them was what he considered to be nonviolent because nobody was injured. He said under the mask is a normal, otherwise law-abiding citizen, and his friends and family have no idea about his activities. He said he thinks it's abysmal that the FBI considers them America's top domestic terrorist threat, because unlike neo-Nazi groups, the ALF has never hurt anyone. The reason these groups are considered such a threat is because they've caused over $100 million worth of damage nationwide. What's next, he says, is the emergence of a lone wolf like Eric Rudolph or Ted Kaczynski, something that has already happened. These grainy images were taken by a surveillance camera. They show a mysterious bomber planting two sophisticated explosive devices late at night outside a company that makes vaccines in Northern California, a company targeted by animal rights activists. One bomb was set to go off an hour after the first, after firemen and police arrived, but it was spotted by a night watchman. A few weeks later, a third bomb went off outside another company, this one strapped with nails. There is a definite split in the movement when it comes to violence. After torching a forest research station in Irvine, Pennsylvania, one ELF cell threatened to, quote, pick up the gun. And the title of this animal rights tract says it all.